reason. What's the scoop today in your battle for truth, justice, and the American way? Home health and politics, conspiracy theories or karate kicks, intelligent discussions on the issues of the day, but tell them not to call unless they got something to say. What's the word for now? Can you tell me how? Will our team win? I guess it depends on what shape they're in. Home health or politics, conspiracy theories or cement bricks, intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. Tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really cool.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You ain't nobody's fool.
Hello, Uncle
You live by the golden rule. When there's a fiery discussion, you supply the fuel. Man, you really hip. You don't take no lip. Man, you got it under control. If there's one thing you got, it's a lot of soul. On the thing we like about you, Uncle Henry, if you have a caller who's particularly pugnacious, quarrelsome, contentious, belligerent, truculent, or scathingly harsh.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And watch for a stalled vehicle on East 9 Mile Road at North Old Palafox Highway. Also, heavy congestion due to an accident in the left lane, I-10 westbound in the tunnel in Mobile. Delays back to the causeway, and from the eastern shore to the tunnel, add on an extra 20 minutes of drive time. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Red Pilled America is celebrating the country's 250th anniversary with stories about the nation's founding. Up first, our 8-part series, What's an American? Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $2,500. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Birthday. That's birthday. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
You know him, you love him, you're confused by him. Uncle Henry is joining us live via Skype. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, and so I confuse you? I'm confusing you, Mr. Emer. I apologize for that.
Oh, it's all good. It's the whole look and everything you got going on. It's just a fantastic concoction of craziness. We always appreciate it.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate that very much. Once again, here we are together, just me and you, two of us here trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us and what has gotten into people? Maybe you and I can figure it out together. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. That's Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. So many things to get into on the Uncle Henry Show today. So many things going on all over the place, all over the world. Where to start? Let me see. I've got a lot of wonderful voicemail messages from over the weekend. I intend to get to many of them this hour because I love to hear the voices of the listeners. I do. I love hearing what other experiences people are having when I'm just doing boring things. So I love hearing those things. Before I get to that, though, last week just mentioned briefly that in Pritchard, the city council was trying to get some kind of a investigation of the finances in Pritchard, saying that they could not get answers from the mayor of Pritchard on the city finances of Pritchard. And so the city council of Pritchard was calling for, they were trying to hire some type of independent group to come in and start auditing the finances and do a deep dive and tell them what was going on with the money there in Pritchard, if there is any money there. Well, today, the mayor of Pritchard held a press conference to try and going into circuit court, trying to stop the council from hiring these other independent investigators. She held a lengthy press conference. You can watch the whole press conference on the Fox 10 website, fox10tv.com. Briefly, here is the mayor of Pritchard. Here's just a little bit of the mayor of Pritchard talking at a press conference. She says that she's not against people coming in and looking at the finances. In fact, that's what she wants.
I want to be very clear. I welcome oversight. I am welcoming the DA's office to come in. I'm welcoming our state auditors to come back, the Ethics Commission, any law enforcement. Every legitimate oversight authority needs to come in and review our finances.
Now, that might be a cheaper way of doing it. Instead of hiring outside firms, just to invite all the people that could come in and maybe prosecute you. Just invite them all in. You just heard she did that. She even mentioned the Toothless Ethics Commission. All right, back to the press conference.
I have no problem, including the past 7 months. So the accusation of me trying to avoid investigation is patently false. Our doors are open. Our documentation is available. Our books are open. We need help in establishing the truth for the people of Pritchard, because the people of Pritchard deserve the truth. I've been in this office 7 months. The council is calling for the past 7 months to be investigated. I am calling for us to broaden that effort and include not only the past 7 months, but the past 5 years.
Okay.
So that we can get a better picture on where we are and why we are where we are.
Yes, it was screwed up long before just the last 7 months. There's a lot of stuff been screwed up over there. So I want to mention just briefly again, I don't want to belabor the point, but I don't know how good the job pays of being on the Pritchard City Council or being the mayor of Pritchard. But if they could just gather together and think about the idea of just discorporating, it sounds so messed up. These poor citizens of Pritchard have had just terrible government for so many years. They've had so many issues there. You've watched it. You've been a bystander seeing it. Can you imagine living in Pritchard and having that as your governance in terms of things being messed up? And now we're at a point where they've got a new mayor and a new council, and they're trying to get everybody wants their own separate investigation of everybody else to find out what's been going on over there. It might just be a good idea to just go ahead and dissolve the city. Just look, not everywhere needs to be a city. It doesn't. There's a lot of locations that don't need to be a city. Wilmer used to be a city, and they figured out, you know what? Maybe we would just be better off being rural. Maybe we should just be in the county. And there won't be those pesky city regulations. That way we can burn stuff in the backyard. Just there's advantages to not living in a city. Of course, there are advantages to living in a city when you have a competent city. This is not the case now. So just go ahead and get together and figure out what you need to do to just dissolve. Just melt into Mobile County. Let the county take over a bunch of stuff. This would be better for the citizens. What would be better for the citizens? Spending endless tax dollars investigating each other, trying to figure out who blew the money? Was it people that are not there anymore? What difference does it make? The money's gone. Just dissolve. Just melt into Mobile County. As I mentioned last week, City of Mobile might want some of it and allow a little bit of annexation in there. Chickasaw might want some of it. There might be some good parts that they want. And the rest of the city can just dissolve. Just dissolve into Mobile County. And everybody would be happy. Less rules and regulations. You would, if you did have complaints about government, it would likely to be government that was more responsive and more competent to your complaints rather than what you've had going on for a long time there. I remember the first time I was asked, I was invited way back when Margie Moberg Wilson was mayor of Pritchard. She invited me to come to her office. This was like 1990 to do a TV show. I had trouble finding it because all the street signs had been stolen. This was back before Google Maps and stuff like that. I had to ask for help to find the city. Dissolve! Become part of the county, Pritchard, and enjoy it.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Still seeing about 8 extra minutes of drive time as you make your way west on the Bayway from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel after an accident was cleared. East on the Bayway from the I-65 to the Eastern Shore at
YouTube viewers, if there are YouTube viewers, I'm fixing to activate the YouTube on my desktop computer and take a look. I will let you know that someone is observing the show sitting in the guest chair. They will not be put onto the camera because they do not want to be put on the camera, but I do have someone looking in on the program. Hello to Gregory Edie, Richard Harvey, Nelson Dorgang, KP of shirtbutter.com. You know, KP doesn't live in Pritchard, but that probably wouldn't stop him. He could hire Tuberville's attorneys and figure out, you don't actually need to live where you're running. There's a councilwoman in Birmingham, I think, that is going through this where she doesn't really live, allegedly, where she's representing or something like that. They're having all kind of trouble up there in Birmingham over that kind of stuff. KP should run for mayor of Pritchard. Pat Nelly, JD, so President Trump going to Madison Square Garden for the basketball game. I wonder, will he be booed there? I don't know. Bama big man. Freddie did not get his water from the city of Pritchard. He was a Moss customer. All right, my observer is now, I'm not going to put the observer on the camera, but my observer is leaving. You need to take the headphones off before you walk away or you will be jerked back quickly. All right, there you go. Have you said hello to Shelby yet? Okay, good. All right, let's see. Back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. Now, let's see. What can I tell you about while waiting to go back on the radio? I don't know. I guess there's not much I can tell you about while I'm waiting to go back on the radio. Oh, I will let you know, a programming note, I am out tomorrow due to a funeral. But I'll be back Wednesday. But tomorrow is a day of a funeral. I may talk about it on the air later in the hour. Thank you very much. Okay, Pete, thank you very much. It was after a long illness. It was, I'll tell you what, though, this weekend it was disconcerting to see a murder case out of Thomasville. I've always considered Thomasville as a pleasant, somewhere I could bug out to if the going got rough down here. Live on the outskirts of Thomasville. I don't know now. People are shooting each other up there. Foreign nationals are shooting people up there.
Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It's 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number if you'd like to call in and tell me something. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Before I go any further on any other topics, let me get to some voicemail. I've had some voicemail trickle in. And I want to make sure that it doesn't lose its freshness. This was phoned into the Uncle Henry Show voicemail this morning. I was looking for the time here. This was phoned in this morning after 10 a.m.
Roll Tide, huh? Good morning to you there, Uncle. 10:12 a.m. from the front porch. West Loxley, Alabama, USA. I see the mugginess or feel the mugginess has crept back in. That's okay. But one thing I'm wondering, I wanted to ask you this question.
Hey, before you ask me the question, you were talking about the mugginess. I'm trying, and I've lived here all my life. I was born here. I've tried to really start to embrace the mugginess. Yes, because it's an embrace of its own. It's almost like the Gulf Coast is hugging you when you come down here and you feel the mugginess. I'm trying to embrace the mugginess and turn it into a positive. I am. Of course, I'm not one of these people that's worried that my hair is going to do something funny. Oh, it's my hair. No, I'm not worried about anything like that.
How's the Skeeter factor over there in your neck of the woods?
Now, how's the factory? What is the question? Backing up to hear the question.
But one thing I'm wondering, I wanted to ask you this question. How's the Skeeter factor over there in your neck of the woods? Man, I'll tell you one thing.
They have, the mosquitoes for me this year, they've gotten me several times. So of course, I hope that there's no West Nile or anything in me. But they've really enjoyed me. The mosquitoes have just enjoyed me tremendously. They have.
It's pretty doggone thick with them this year. Well, of course, I ain't seen the Skeeter truck sprayer come through yet, but of course, I got me some stuff here to you can spray on you that they not only won't light on you when you put it on your body, they haul rear end in the other direction. But
hey, before you talk more about your mosquitoes, my favorite form of mosquito repellent is just to have a fan. Just a simple fan. Now, this would require electricity. You'd need the electricity to do this. I just like having a fan because there's a certain speed of breeze that mosquitoes just can't handle it. And so if you've got a fan, it's good. Then they can't eat you the way they've eaten me.
before I could get it on me this morning when I first got out here, I killed about 4 or 5. They come in droves, man. It won't just be one light on you. You'll look down at your legs and there'll be 2 or 3 on one and 2 or 3 on the other.
That's right.
Just wondering what it's like over there in that part of the woods. All right. Sitting here waiting on Alabama St. John's completion of their baseball game from last night. They got rained out in the 8th inning. If they can go ahead and close out, they're ahead 7-2. If they can go ahead and close this one out, they'll be going to the College World Series. Roll, Tide, roll.
Roll, Tide, roll. Yeah, Alabama doing quite well with these different, with baseball, softball. And there was a follow-up call about the baseball. This is very brief.
Roll, Tide, well, Uncle, the Alabama baseball team is headed to the College World Series out in Omaha. Only 8 teams go. As a matter of fact, this is the first time Alabama's gone since 1999. Heck of a team they've got there, Unc.
Yes.
Don't know if they can win it all, but this is a major accomplishment for the Alabama sports organization. Roll, Tide, roll, man.
Roll, Tide, roll. Yes. Very nice to hear. And you got softball, everything going well there for the Tide, at least at this juncture. Hello, caller.
Afternoon, Henry.
Yes, sir. You are live on the radio.
You made a great point a while ago about Pritchard just disbanding, calling it a day, and being part of the county. I'm on a board of an association, and we're kind of facing the same thing. We've lost memberships to other splinter groups that have gotten specialized in what we do, and we're down to less than 50 members now. It's costing more to do business than what we're benefiting from. So I had made that mention in a board meeting, and nobody really wants to hear that when you say we need to call it a day. And it was just a business decision, but I agree with you 100%. And the other thing I was going to ask your opinion on, Henry, listened to Hannity a while ago, and they were doing the interview with Scott Pelley after he'd been fired. And I know things come back around eventually. You think we'll ever get a newscaster to be on there, just read the news like John Chancellor used to do, Cronkite used to do, David Brinkley used to do? You think we'll ever have that again, just somebody read the news and don't interject their personal opinion or the corporate opinion?
I don't think we'll get it, not in our lifetime. You and me, I don't know how old you are, but you're an adult and you listen to talk radio. So I'm saying not on the national level. Now, I think it can happen quite easily on the local level, but I don't think you're going to get it on the national level because that doesn't make the money. It's all about the money. And they have their ways of making the money. And so having some type of spin, some type of team that you're pulling for in politics or on an issue, that's what sells. So, no, I don't think there's any money in. You may remember when CNN had headline news and it was like a newscast every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know that they do that anymore in our country because it didn't make the money. They want to make the money.
Exactly. And was Pelley so woke that he didn't think what he said out loud, that there wasn't going to be repercussions from his job? I mean, you can think that, but why? My word, didn't he have sense enough to not say it out loud?
Well, no, think about the money he made. And in his profession, you don't get much more prestigious than 60 Minutes in that profession. I mean, that used to be the gold standard for broadcast. And he's been treated like like a Greek god or a Roman god for years and years and years simply because he's on that show.
Exactly. Well, is that your aspiration, Henry? Is there a spot for you on 60 Minutes, you think?
No, my aspiration is to be able to make enough money to pay the mortgage on a regular basis. That's it. I just want that mortgage paid.
Absolutely. Have a good one, sir.
You too. Thank you very much for your phone call. Scott Pelley, I haven't liked him since the Iraq War. So that's how long I've been irritated and annoyed with Scott Pelley.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Still seeing about 8 extra minutes of drive time as you make your way west on the Bayway from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel after an accident was cleared. East on the Bayway from the I-65 to the Eastern Shore, add an extra 13 minutes of drive time. West on the Causeway from Spanish Fort to the Bankhead Tunnel, it's a 15-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
A man dies in a single vehicle crash in Baldwin County. Aaliyah says it happened Saturday night. 39-year-old from Freeport, Florida, Robert D. Cates, went off the roadway at I-10, hit several trees, and overturned about 11 miles east of Robertsdale. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, pronounced dead at the scene. Mobile City Council meets Tuesday. 2 people scheduled to address the group to talk about revoking the business license of a roofing company, All Weather Roofing and Construction and Window Depot USA of Mobile. Several families say the companies took money, made promises, and left them with nothing. Heart of Mary School is accepting donations for a new home, posting on their Facebook page. Help Heart of Mary School transition to our new home and protect our 125-year legacy of faith, education, and service for Mobile's children, adding every gift matters. I'm Angie Norvell.
The Crimson Tide is off to Omaha for the Men's College World Series. After having to suspend the game against St. John's yesterday, Alabama picked up in the top of the 8th and finished with a final score of 7-2. This is the first time since 1999 that the Crimson Tide baseball team has made it to the World Series. And for the first time in school history, Troy University has advanced to the College World Series. The Trojans clinching the Super Regionals yesterday with a 7-2 win over Little Rock. A longtime Alabama-based cabinet manufacturer closed its doors over the weekend. Workers at Legacy Cabinets in East Tebogo were informed on Saturday that the company would be shutting down immediately. Founded in Talladega County in 1994, the company employed around 1,000 people. Company officials blamed the closure on severe financial circumstances. I'm Leah Brandon.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. On Friday, the Senate passed a bill to fund ICE and Customs Border Protection for 3 years, allowing it to move to the House for a vote sometime this week. Senate Majority Leader John Thune had reaction today.
Democrats voted to defund the agents who stand guard on our nation's borders and help prevent dangerous individuals from entering our country.
Democrats have opposed funding unless reforms are made. Tonight's Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Security's tight because President Trump is going to be in the House at Madison Square Garden. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries questions if the president is even a Knicks fan.
He's just injecting himself into the NBA Finals because he always has to bring the MAGA circus into town.
Well, President Trump, a native of Queens, says he's been a fan of the Knicks for a long time. New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani also expected to attend tonight. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey. All right. That was funny to hear the annoyance of the Democrat politician. It was very funny. Back on the radio in about 2 minutes. Let me check and see if there's anybody watching on the YouTube. If so, I will take a look. And yes, there's a tiny number of people looking in. I appreciate that very much. Excalibur One Force, hello to you. 69-year-old Chris of West Loxley, Sharon of Fairhope. Norman Richardson. Thank you all for looking in on the program. KP, White House, UFC, I'm not sure. I know I'm going to, I will be doing as little as possible Sunday. I'll have to be at the Wharf Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I'm hoping, that would be a good thing, actually, is for me to just watch UFC at my house. But whatever I'm doing Sunday will be as little effort as is possible. All right, back on the radio here in about 10 seconds.
Some hard, uncomfortable truths around here.
It's Jesse Kelly.
Okami Destroyer Supreme.
Weeknights at 7 on News Radio 710, WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. That's UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. Got a bunch of voicemail to get to on the Uncle Henry Show. I want to start with this. This is not about a burning news item, but it's something that may be burning in your life. This might be something that you've noticed in your life. Let's go to the retired mad trucker.
Uncle Henry, LD. Well, I'm coming back from the Dollar G, and I'm not going to say which one it is, but the clown working there seems to be, I don't know, 25 or better, and he can't count change. He cannot count change. How in the world did we get so far into America you can't count change? You know what it is, Uncle Henry? I'll tell you what it is. We stopped asking people to count, and we let computers do it for them. And that's been the downfall of this country, the computer and the cell phone.
All right. LD, the mad trucker, thank you very much. Or the retired mad trucker, thank you for that. I agree to a degree in what you're talking about here. There are still people that are being educated. There are still families that make sure that their kids learn to read and read classics and things like that, and learn about history and all kind of things, learn about math. We're still producing some smart people in this country. But we're also producing people that seem to know less than ever before. The phone has become, it's different from back when, you may remember when calculators were invented. And people were worried about calculators somehow taken away from people's ability to do math. And it did not do that. People ended up, you still needed to know math to use the calculator properly. But we are, with the smartphones and now the development of AI, where you can ask a computer to even do the research for you, we're not developing those muscles. And I'm encountering the same thing you're encountering. People in the jobs that you described, like the Dollar Tree job, being mystified, making change. I don't know where it's all going to lead, but it ain't good. We already see wealth inequality in the country, where some people are getting really rich, other people seem to have trouble getting traction, trying to climb that ladder. I hope we don't get into some type of true intellectual divide in the country, where some people can actually make change and read instructions, and other people, if they don't have a smartphone, are left without any help in life, struggling. But this all ties into who's raising you, LD. It all ties into who's raising you, and that's the biggest difference. The biggest advantage you can have is not a computer or a smartphone or even a good school. The biggest advantage is having a family that cares about you and wants you to learn something. That'll be the biggest advantage. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, let me go to, this is a call about politics that is not from, it's not about our local politics.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Snake Trapper. Hey, man, let me start this by saying that Dan Goldman, that represents the 10th District of New York, is a piece of crap, Uncle Henry.
All right, strong words from the Snake Trapper.
And the reason I say that is because he's voted for all this transgender crap. He's voted the impeachment of Trump. I think he was one of the lawyers that actually tried to have President Trump impeached. I mean, he is the worst of the worst. Well, Uncle Henry, I'm watching MSNBC, which I like to get perspectives on everybody's view just to see where the ignorant people really are.
Right. Hey, and that's it's good to survey, find out what other people think, even if they're lunatics. Find out what it is.
Uncle Henry, they got this guy. Lord, I can't remember his name. I think it was Bradle, some whatever. But anyway, he is on Valash or however you say that idiot's name. And he's running against Dan Goldman, Uncle Henry, and the polls are showing that this guy is actually beating Dan Goldman in the polls by something like 57% to 27%. Anyway, the radicals really want him. Okay? And he is 10 times worse than Dan Goldman. And they are actually throwing Dan Goldman, somebody that has been their puppet for years, under the bus. Dan Goldman should have stood up for what was right instead of trying to push all this ideological bull ass, Uncle Henry.
Yeah, but and I'm sorry, I don't know what you're about to say, but he should have been. You're saying he should have been pushing. He should have stood up for what was right instead of pushing BS ideological stuff. But he was, I'm sure, he knew what it would take to get the votes. Or the donor money. Or both. But when you see people pushing things that don't make good sense for citizens, in either party, when you see people pushing an agenda that isn't going to be good for citizens, it is because donors, it's to get donor money or the favor of the party. It is created in those ways.
Will eat and devour their own, Uncle Henry. They remind me of some chickens. You know, if an old chicken dies in a pen or gets sick in a pen of a bunch of other chickens, man, they'll pluck his eyeballs out. They'll eat the eyeballs. They'll peck him to death and eat him. They'll devour their own, and that's who Dan Goldman is. So this cat running against him is 100 times worse. I wouldn't say worser because I don't think that's a word. I don't believe on it.
Yeah, but we know what it means. It's important to be understood, and so the other guy is worser.
But anyway, man, this country, I'm telling you, we need to get these radicals and idiots out of there. And it just amazes me as how they will do like they done old Eric Swalwell, California. The first time he was no good to them, they was ready to feed him to the buzzards.
Right.
I shouldn't say buzzers. I said feed them to the chickens.
Right.
Democrats are bad for this country, Uncle Henry. Anybody that's got any common sense should never vote the Democrat ticket. You have a good day, my buddy.
Snake Trapper, thank you for your call about I'm not paying attention to the New York politics. I mention them from time to time when it's really weird up there because we need to know what we're dealing with. Because when it's weird out in California or weird up in New York, it eventually makes its way here. People will come here and just wonder why in Alabama. Why isn't Alabama like it is in California? Let's try to make it that way. That happens. So, Snake Trapper, thank you for telling me about this. And thank you for watching MSNBC or MS Now or whatever it is now for me and telling me about it, because I would rather not watch it. And have you... Now, I still want to know what they think, but the act of watching it can be very painful and distressing psychologically. So thank you for taking that on for me. I could have done without the description of chicken behavior. Chicken's still a top protein source for me, and I pray that it will be for the rest of my life. In fact, I got chicken waiting for me at home. More Uncle Henry Show after the break.
And lanes of traffic are opening up now on westbound I-10, approaching the tunnel in Mobile after an earlier accident. Heading from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel, it's a 13-minute drive. On Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, it's a 10-minute drive. Slow on Highway 59 from I-10 to Gulf Shores, about an hour drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Rev up Father's Day gift giving at summitracing.com. You'll find unique gifts, parts, tools, accessories, and more. Or give the perfect card, a Summit Racing gift card.
All right, YouTube viewers, if there's anybody left, I see a small number of people looking in. The Love Freak 69, hello to you. Thank you for being in the chat. And in the room. You want to go on microphone? What do you mean? You're chatting, why not? I don't want anybody to hear me. Okay, all right. You don't want anybody to hear you. I'll just read you. Okay, well then don't talk to... Okay. The 69-year-old Chris, no, I will be down at the wharf for the Zach Top concert. Zach Top, I like him because he's got very few letters in his name. Word economy. You don't have to use a lot of ink to write his name. But he sounds very classic country, which is... It's nice to have some of the classic sound in there. But I looked, 69-year-old Chris, there are not a lot of Friday concerts this season. I don't think there's that many. I'm going to try to have a rerun Friday. There will not be a rerun tomorrow, but there will be a rerun, I hope, Friday. I say I hope because I got to figure out what to run. And then also, we have we're going to our new software system coming up. A new software system is coming up, and I don't even know how to use it. I wouldn't know how to run a rerun with the new software. All right, let's see. Back on the radio here in about a minute. And I'm trying to figure out, I've got a guest that's supposed to come in tomorrow morning, and I have no way of getting in touch with them to tell them that I'm not going to be here. I'm looking for some random text.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast, and join me for an upcoming episode with Ziggy Marley. That's Ziggy Marley, Grammy winner, a legend's son, on the Taking a Walk podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, it's 5:50. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Now, before we get to the news headlines, I have more voicemail I want to get to from over the weekend, but I've got an actual living caller. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry.
LD, the retired trucker.
I got to complain, Uncle Henry. I've got to call in and complain.
All right.
Was it the city of Mobile comes out and says that ridership is at double digits for the Amtrak? Do you know how much a ticket costs round trip?
No.
$60.
Okay.
If you go Greyhound, it's $5. I think $5 or $6 more. You're going to tell me that big giant piece of steel with all that diesel fuel and all those stops and all those people working on that thing, you think that ticket is actually correct? I hear that it's like 90% taxpayer funded. Is that true?
I know that it's subsidized tremendously. I don't know what the percentage is, but yeah, they couldn't do it for that amount of money without a bunch of tax dollars going to it. Yeah.
That's right. And I wanted to see, I even wrote in on Facebook. I wanted to find out, well, how much did they think ridership would be if they had to pay the full price, which would be zero? No one would ride that thing if they had to pay the original price the taxpayers footing that bill. And what's even worse than that?
What's that?
They're adding another car. It's got reinforced seats in it. I don't know. Maybe it's for your mother. I don't know.
Why would she need reinforced seats? Why? Hey, you freak! You've got to stop it. You've got to stop implying that my mother would require reinforced seats when she's a normal sized person. This is going on now for years. There's been numerous witnesses that can attest to it. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I don't know if I'm going to have to have some people come in and weigh her. Maybe you know what? Maybe this summer I'll have to talk to my mother on one of her days where she's actually, able to understand what I'm saying. And see if she would allow, most women would not want to be weighed in publicly, like a boxer or a UFC fighter. But we might do a public weigh-in. I would have to get her to agree to it, and I don't know that would happen because she is a female with some discretion on her better days. She might not want people to know. But she's normal sized. And it's sad that there's something, I don't know what hurt you back in the past to make you want to lash out at people's mamas like this. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey, you are live on the radio.
Hey, that last caller's dumb, and his call is dumb too.
It was terrible. It was dumb, and it was just sick.
Yeah, and it's dumb to imply that your mother would need reinforced seats. She does not need reinforced seats.
Thank you. She does not.
No way, man. She needs a whole cattle car added to that Amtrak train.
Dadgummit, almost cussed. I came that close. Lord, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for stopping it at the tip of my tongue. It was right there. It was hitting that runway on that tongue. It almost flew out. It could have been an FCC violation. But I guess I don't know what would the answer be though. If we do a public weigh-in and they still called, what am I left with? Stop taking phone calls altogether? Get people pre-screened before they can go on the air with some type of special licensing where they have to pay to call or something like that? I don't know. Maybe that would be a good moneymaker. I'll think about that. But, listener, I apologize. I had a great voicemail ready to go. But I thought, no, I'd rather talk to living people that are calling right now. Live radio. Remind people of what it's like. And that's what happens. Something not good. All right, well, look, almost out of time for this hour. There is another hour or another half hour of Uncle Henry Show coming up after the news. Programming note, I'm not going to be live on the air tomorrow. I'm going to be at a family funeral. Somebody in my family has passed. Thank you to everyone that has offered condolences. I appreciate it very, very much. My family member, Barry Pennington, who was a principal at, I think he was a principal at Daphne. He coached football at Foley. Coached football up in Jackson, Alabama. He was all around in Baldwin County, an incredible career. Is in the Fairhope High School Athletics Hall of Fame, Foley High School Hall of Fame, Daphne High School Hall of Fame, Baldwin County Varsity Coaches Hall of Fame. He passed away. Going to have memorial services for him tomorrow, so I will be not on the air. There will be Clay and Buck on. I'll be back with new old stuff, Wednesday.
Fox on Tech.
Hackers are getting very low.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. I'll be back Wednesday. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow.
Bad guys trying to reach us through our devices. How often are we warned to double-check if an email with an attachment or link is genuine? Often it's an attempt to exploit our devices and steal our personal information. Big corporations train